Elephants in Japan was founded by Ulara Nakagawa, whose blog post about Hanako the elephant in 2015 struck a chord with people across the world. Hanako was dubbed the world's loneliest elephant, and a petition demanding improvements to her enclosure, or that she be moved to a sanctuary, attracted 470,000 signatures. Ms. Nakagawa was able to raise some funds to bring an animal welfare expert to Hanako's zoo. That expert made recommendations, such as putting heaters in Hanako's enclosure to stop her shivering and to increase her time with her keepers.
We were thrilled when after this visit and these recommendations were made, Hanako's zoo agreed to implement those welfare changes. And as they did this publicly on the record, and as they were slowly doing this, Hanako died of old age on May 26, 2016, so just a few months after this global effort had begun to take place to improve her conditions.
In an effort to help other solitary elephants, elephants in Japan enlisted the help of renowned biologist Dr. Keith Lindsay to observe and document 14 captive elephants at zoos. In his report, he considered 5 zoos keeping solitary elephants to be in very poor condition. The elephant enclosures were very small, completely concrete, potentially dangerous and noisy. The elephants there were obese, understimulated, and considered dangerous by their keepers.
When it comes time for feeding, maybe even an hour away, the elephants get increasingly agitated and stand and shake their head back and forth and sway back and forth, just waiting for something to happen to them. And you never, ever see that kind of behavior in the wild.
Since his visits to the zoos, 2 of the observed elephants have died. Dr. Lindsay says there's plenty these zoos and others that keep solitary elephants could be doing in the short term. But ultimately, Dr. Lindsay believes all zoos, regardless of which country they're in, should first decide whether it's even appropriate to keep elephants in captivity.
Unless zoos can devote several acres, many hectares of varied habitat, and enough space for the elephants to be able to choose their companions, I don't think they should keep them. And a few zoos worldwide have tried to do this, and the elephants seem reasonably happy. But as I say, usually these are places outside cities or at the outskirts. So in cities, it's quite hard to see how zoos could keep elephants.
Dr. Lindsay says an increasing number of zoos around the world are closing their elephant exhibits, so if substandard Japanese zoos did the same, they would be following best practice. Ms. Nakagawa says she hopes the campaign will help these solitary elephants before it's too late for them. She says they've partnered with the international wildlife organization ZooCheck to push for minimum standards for keeping elephants.
We have to go and target the decision maker who can actually make high-level change happen for the conditions of captive elephants in Japan and set some kind of regulatory standard for these zoos, which are primarily city-owned, to enforce some guidelines around the keeping of solitary elephants. So there should be minimum guidelines established for the size of their enclosures, or, the fact that they can't be kept alone for X amount of years, that sort of thing.
Elephants in Japan say they hope their report will spur discussion and a renewed effort in the country to make sure these elephants are treated humanely.